stadium at Mangotsfield. Kingswood Planning Committee threw out the scheme because it would eat into greenbelt land around Bristol. As the club consider their next moves, there are gloomy forecasts that it may be impossible to find an alternative site, as Nigel Turner reports.
Today, Rovers find themselves back at square one and pondering an appeal to last night's rejection of their plans. Ironically, the minister who would have to make a decision would be Chris Patton, the Bath MP in whose constituency Rovers currently play. The club's frustration is understandable. They feel their plans at Mangotsfield meet all the requirements of the Taylor report and the government.
We've had no support from the government whatsoever. The Taylor report was agreed that this was the safety document for the future to ensure spectator safety, and that new stadia were built along those lines. But when you actually try to implement that situation, there is no backing whatsoever from the government.
Rovers received sympathy from the Football League today, but with no promise of anything other than moral backing for their case. We support the effort of the club to re-site back in Bristol. Any decision which prevents that is one we regret. With the club warning that they could be forced out of business in 2 years' time when stricter safety measures will come into force at Twerton Park, the players are concerned for their own futures.
That part of the club is the director's responsibility, really. But it's been a very big blow. I mean, we as players feel like we've had a good couple of years. We won a championship, we've been to Wembley, so it would have been nice if on the crest of the wave that we could have got some kind of help from the council or whatever. But as I say, I mean, it's not really a player's responsibility, and we've just got to get on with playing the game and not let it affect us, really.
The Department of the Environment revealed today that they are shortly to publish policy, planning and guidance notes for local authorities, which will give specific advice on planning requirements for new sports facilities. But how realistic is it to expect Rovers to be able to find a new home which doesn't infringe the green belt?
I think they're going to have great difficulties. Quite simply, I think an inner city site is out. You're looking for a site twice the size of a modern superstore, and I don't believe that one exists in Bristol. On the fringe, the greenbelt boundary has recently been redrawn, and as a result of that, you've got land which is fairly clearly defined, either for development or for greenbelt. And development land, in many instances, they just couldn't afford. The only area that one might point to is the area between Avonmouth and the Severn Bridge, and that may be out quite simply from Rovers' point of view, but also it requires access, and the second Severn crossing link will be some time away.
With less than 3 years left on their lease at Twerton Park and their plans for a return to Bristol back to square one, the future of Bristol Rovers is today as uncertain as it has ever been in its history. Nigel Turner, BBC West, Bristol.